Hi and welcome to another edition of OnSide SA, where Budge and I are going to take you through what's happening this weekend, talk about what happened last weekend, and the first thing we're going to talk about, obviously, the carnage that happened, Budge, with last one standing.
Well, I've never had so many messages. When does the next competition start? After Chelsea and Wolves went missing, Paul. So
absolutely,
unbelievable.
I thought the Man City would comfortably go through. They didn't. They were 4 went. So 17 left from 96, Budge. That
crazy.
Is crazy. It's come down quickly.
Yeah.
Now, let's look at the ladies. There's always ladies involved. So 3 of 17. That's a good percentage.
Yeah.
Marlene Laveau.
Yeah.
Renee Ruiz.
Yeah.
And Kelly Potts from America.
Potts will be chirping the boys in the States. Yeah.
Yeah, she's asleep now as we talk about her. Well done to those 3 women. They got a chance. As you know, there's only 14 taking them on. But let's have a look at the big hitters.
Okay.
The big hitters. Jimbo Goodman. Jimbo, ever since this contest started, Budge, he's planned ahead.
Okay.
He gets the fixtures and invariably goes out. But now Jimbo is going well.
It's like Arsenal, they're also going well.
Sean Fenger, calling all angels.
Calling all
well
angels.
Done to him. Mark Fullion, our mate, well done. Melly Sewell, the drummer, best drummer in town. Melly Sewell, well done. He's a Spurs supporter.
Okay.
Just to let you know. Brett Galley, do I know?
No, you won't know Brett.
Okay, and then I've got, what is it, Andre from Basson, Andrew from Boston.
Can you believe it?
Can you believe it? I wonder what team
every one of your stables in, but you.
Yeah, she's it's the Lafferty stable going through. Well done to Andrew from Boston. Ajith Story.
Ajith Singh, sorry, that's one of my mates from the Durbanville Toads.
Okay, and Jordan Story.
Yeah, Jordan is Key's son, Keys, the cricketer, yeah.
And Phineas Loker.
Can you believe it?
Phineas is going
well. He got to the last 3 competitions ago, so
what
maybe
amazes me is that his team isn't doing well, Liverpool, but he keeps going through. I think he's got wise.
He was on Man United on the weekend, so
okay, so he went through, and then entrants for more than 1 pick. So this is the favourite group. Okay, Francois Dumi from Mauritius too. Not good man, a good man. Well done. He's always involved, eh? He takes his numbers. Mark Curry, tops. Mark Spursman.
Is he? Another Spursman?
Stableman, Spursman.
Okay.
2 picks. And UK guys left. Only 1 now, Colin Young.
Colin Young, yeah. That's Catherine Armstrong's dad.
Forever Young.
Forever Young, yeah, he's going well.
Right, let's see if we can get Steve over. Steve, are you about?
Good morning.
How are you doing, Steve?
I'm fine, thank you. Nearly made it through to round 6, so better luck next time.
Who are you on, Steve?
I was on Wolves with lots of other people that fell.
Oh, by the way,
should have been Spurs.
Should have been Spurs.
I'll have to change my tactics.
Get rid of your prejudice.
Steve, talking of prejudice, good friend of the show, and obviously Paul Markaboot sent me the photo before the game with him and John Aldridge.
That's right.
Having a photo. Great photo, 2-0. He must have been gloating. Unfortunately,
put the camera away.
Half an hour later, I think he would have been jumping off the top stand, but couldn't believe how that game changed.
Well, they compounded, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I sent to a smiley emoji when they scored their second, and I must have jinxed them because it was all over after that. The minute that first goal went in, it's like their heads dropped, the confidence sort of drained from them. And although they still had 1 or 2 chances of second half, it's hard to believe what we were watching. It was like a training game for Real Madrid. It was so easy for them. They just completely devoid of ideas, shape. And I think the third goal summed it up. I mean, they're all standing zonal marking in the 6-yard box. One white shirt Militao just strolls across them all and heads in without a challenge, and it was game over. And you can't see anything other than a comfortable result in the Bernabeu for Madrid now.
Yeah, seemed to have their number as well. And the further it went on, could have another 10 minutes could have been 7.
Was it that bad?
Oh, it was terrible.
No, Jan actually told me that you have to go back yonks.
Yeah.
Since Liverpool lost beat 4, never mind 5.
I think was it 5-1, Steve? I know you messaged me.
Yeah, in 60, the pundits seem to have missed this, but in 66 they lost at home to Ajax 5-1. That was their biggest ever. This is the second time they've conceded 5, but I guess 66 is a long time ago. It just shows you, the fact that, as you say, in the second half, every time Madrid attacked, they were carving through them. They could have scored more potentially, but it was just, it was more than a bad night at the office. I think it just showed the sort of, when you think that not that many months ago they outplayed Madrid for much of the Champions League final, Madrid's team hasn't changed much, and you just wonder what's gone wrong at Liverpool.
Steve, I went and dug up the Liverpool team that played. There were 4 people that new players that started. Gomez came in for Konate.
Right.
Yeah, the youngster, was it Bajajcic, came in for Thiago.
Yeah.
And then obviously Gakpo and Nunes came in for Mane and Diaz. But your defensive side of it, and to me, Klopp's got to take the blame. To keep playing.
Did Virgil play?
Yeah. Well, he had a shirt on, but he was invisible. Yeah, he looks like he hasn't recovered from his injury. And Trent Alexander at right back, if you're going to continue to play him there, you're going to get slaughtered against the better teams. He's good on the ball, obviously, but defensively is an embarrassment. And for Klopp to keep playing him, to me, Gomez, I don't know why he played instead of Matip. But Klopp's going to come under pressure. It's a 7-year syndrome. He wants money, and I wouldn't give it to him. That's my opinion. I know he deserves the money. But there is, you look when he's money on Keita and selling Mane for 35 and buying Nunes for 86. To me, that's a complete nightmare.
Kept him another year at least.
Will they give him money? I don't know, because if United and Chelsea and Newcastle, if they don't get the Champions League, they're in serious trouble. Steve, what's a bit of the Napoli-Eintracht game?
A good year, Napoli.
Napoli going well, always in control. They missed a penalty. I thought the red card was a bit harsh, but once you leave the ground, you're always in trouble. But I don't think they can win it, but I wouldn't like to draw them in the next round.
Well, I mean, they are the informed team in Europe, aren't they? It's, clear at the top of Serie A, and it's interesting, but they've got, the chair. I think the president last night evidently admitted that they probably won't be able to hold on to Victor Osimhen. That it will take a huge 100 million or so to buy him, but I think they're resigned to the fact that he wants to go, so he'll end up in the Premier League potentially. But then you've got players like Anguissa, who was at Fulham, and he's an ever present and bossing the midfield. So I think they've taken people by surprise, but as you say, they're not going to be a team that you want to draw.
Yeah, talking other teams. Man City 1-1. I couldn't believe Pep. I know De Bruyne was missing. He never made one substitution. I'm sure the press will be on his case.
That was really strange because, I mean, obviously they did, Leipzig, and they looked a different side in the second half. And, they needed some City. And I thought they were probably not that often in danger of losing it, but they could have, and they should have been clear in the first half. But again, they too many touches, and the commentator kept saying it's almost like they're trying to avoid giving the ball to Haaland.
Yeah,
I mean, he basically had virtually no touches, just like one or two in the box. So look, I think they're still fun. That was a game they could have won comfortably.
Yeah, there should have been 2 or 3 up in the first half. Mario scored the goal. And the other game, Inter Milan-Porto, just a brawl. Just 2 teams kicking lumps out of each other. It's only when Lukaku came on that Inter... I still can't believe Zeko starts before Lukaku. That just amazes me. But took his goal well. And I think Inter will go through. Steve, big game tonight. Obviously, all United fans. Personally, I hope United go out if you want to try and have a good run at the league. This should be a humdinger. Which way do you see it going?
Well, look, I mean, last week was a fantastic game. I mean, that second half particularly. United created so many opportunities, and you think, well, if they, at home, it's been a bit of a fortress recently for them. It's going to be a fantastic atmosphere. He's obviously going to play his strongest available side, even though they've got the final on Sunday. Because I think they've got to go for it. Look, Barcelona have been exceptional this season in the league. In Europe, they have stuttered a bit. So I think United have got a better than even chance if they play as they do.
Yeah. So, and the 2 youngsters won't be playing, Pedri and Gavi. I think Busquets will be back. No. One's injured, one's suspended. So it should be a humdinger. And Barca go for it. So that's one thing. And so do United. So let's hope there's goals. Hopefully United sneak through. Steve, on to the Premiership for the weekend. And it does kick off on Friday.
Fulham.
With Fulham against Wolves.
Yeah.
You're telling me Mitrovic could be missing?
No, I think he probably is missing.
Okay.
Silver has pretty much admitted that he shouldn't be available Friday. Touch and go for. I don't think he'll play him against Leeds either. So they'll keep him. We don't play again till the following Monday at Brentford.
Yeah.
So look, he's not 100% fit. We know that he's been playing with one or two little niggly injuries. But look, it's a game that, I mean, Wolves obviously had a good little run, and then obviously came unstuck last week.
Yeah.
If we can pinch a win, puts us on to 41 points. I mean, you know, still with 13 games to go, you'd be thinking we may not need much more. So there's a huge incentive. I think it'll be close. I think you know, I think we should definitely start as favourites, but I think it's a sort of like a 1-goal in it game.
Yeah, a tight game. You just never know with Wolves. Yeah, they give top teams a game, and then they played home against Bournemouth. That was a shocking result, as you would testify, last one standing. Steve, Everton versus Aston Villa. I watched Everton last week. Desperation game of the highest. I just couldn't believe it. They were fortunate to win. Leeds just can't score. I think they're in trouble against Aston Villa. Aston Villa played well against Arsenal. Very well. Yeah, they had a lot of chances. I know they conceded goals, but Everton's strength, like Sean Dyche's teams, are set pieces, and I think Aston Villa can contain them. The Argentinian goalkeeper hit him on the head and scored the 3rd goal. I think he'll expect a big performance. Sure. I like Aston Villa of the two teams. Steve, do you agree?
Well, I mean, Everton have get half of themselves, but I mean, they've had these 2 home wins without conceding. Yeah. I personally think it's going to be a tight game. You know, they are desperate, Everton, but you know, they're not as if they're adrift. They don't need to be cavalier. I think he will keep it very tight, and I think it will be a very low-scoring game. Yeah. But I don't think Everton will lose.
Okay.
You know, it just makes you wonder whether or not Villa are going to, you know, feel that it's a game they can win and throw stuff at them. Until the Arsenal game, you know, they were going okay. I thought they played well in patches against Arsenal, and it looked as if that game was going to finish a draw until that sort of late goals. So for me, I think it's I can see a low-scoring draw here.
See, I just think to be goals. This is like the way Villa play, especially away from home. They can't catch them on the break. You know, you just never know with Everton, but I fancy Villa of the two teams. Steve, Leeds United, Southampton, a dinkum relegation clash. If James Ward-Prowse hadn't been playing for Southampton, I think they've been relegated already. But he is playing, and with Leeds not scoring many goals, Southampton could cause another upset. How do you see it?
Well, look, I mean, you've obviously got a new manager there, although my understanding is he hasn't got his work permit through. Okay. So he may not even be taking charge at the weekend unless it came through. Look, Leeds haven't won in, is it 10 in the league? Yeah. It's you know, it's desperation for them. I mean, you know, they've got injuries, they'll throw everything at Southampton, but Southampton showed a lot of mettle. It was a big result at Chelsea, and as you say, if James Ward-Prowse gets anything anywhere near the penalty area, I mean, you know, the quality of his free kicks exceptional. I can see this. I can see Southampton holding them. A draw is not a bad result for either, because neither are adrift. You know, they're in that bottom three, but neither are adrift. But Leeds can't afford to lose it, that's for sure. Yeah,
Leeds got to go for this. Leeds don't get a result here, they're in serious trouble, because that would have been marking this out and say, hey guys, Southampton at home.
Who's got the job?
It's a guy, is it Yavi Garcia? Was it Watford, I think, Steve?
Yeah, Garcia. He was at Watford, and he actually did very well in his first season. Got them to the cup final, although they obviously capitulated. But you know, but then, you know, he's not in the.
Yeah, he didn't do bad. Steve, Leicester, Arsenal. The way Leicester played in the first half against United, outstanding. Second half,
they can play.
I fancy Arsenal, Steve.
Yes, I mean, Arsenal, you know, they needed that. It was a big result last week, and I think obviously with City dropping points, it sort of puts them in the, you know, in the front seat again. So,
so you're a
lot of passengers.
You're right. Leicester had a few passengers, especially in the second half. You're all over Arsenal, Steve. Yeah, I think they'll score Leicester, but 3-1, 4-2. I think this is what has got me in that particular game. Yeah. Steve, West Ham, Notts Forest. If ever there's a team I feel for, it's West Ham. Too many good players, but I think that's a problem. Declan Rice should be stamping his authority against Spurs. I think he plays too deep. I think he's got to move like 4 or 5 yards and try and affect the game more. They're struggling for goals. Antonio, I feel for the guys on his own. Jared Bowen, 1 or 2 good games and 4 or 5 bad ones. This is another game. If West Ham don't win this, Steve, they're in a relegation battle. But can they win
Definitely.
it?
They are. There's no question. Well, I think they can. I mean, I saw Forest a couple of weeks ago. For an hour, I thought they were poor. Again, City, they were completely outplayed for 80 odd minutes before they had a shot on target. You know, that was more about City missing chances than Forest. You know, West Ham have got to look at this and think we have to win this game. Anything else, and I think Forest. I think if West Ham score first, they'll do it. Forest score, and they don't do that very often. They've only got 3 away from home all season. They'll just shut up shop. So you know, I think the fans start to get a little bit restless there, and they certainly will be. There'll be a few more boos if they don't win that game. That's for sure. Yeah. I think I think of the two, still fancy West Ham, but to end it.
Yeah, I just don't trust them, Steve, just the way they play. I know they've got good players and they should win, but one thing I like about Forest, they have a go. They may be limited, but they don't stop trying. That Kayla Nevis, I think, will keep them in the league. I know he should have been beaten a couple of times, but some of the saves he pulled off were outstanding.
And they got a couple of pacey boys. What's happened to the ex-Man United boy?
Lingard, I don't know. It must be.
Okay.
Who cares?
I think he was injured. He was injured, but he's not. He's not an automatic starter, which is interesting. So, I mean, the thing is, they lost their 2 first-choice centre halves. They both went off at Fulham. Like Willy Bolly is out for the season, so they've got to mix and match a bit. But you know, if West Ham can't win this game, then they really are. You know, then they are sort of deserve to be where they are, really.
Yeah, Lingard will be sitting here. He should have signed for West Ham, but he went for money. He wanted a fortune. Newcastle blasted him, and he ended up at Forest, and he's on the way out. Bournemouth, Man City.
Good things.
Steve, I saw a 3-1. I know it's over 2.5 goals, and both teams to score no. So Man City to win 3-0, 4-0.
I mean, Bournemouth.
They've got to win this, surely.
Yeah, Pep, was furious with them. I think last night he was furious with them at the City ground. I think he won't. Anything other than a comfortable win will be unacceptable. Yeah. And I predict, as you say, I probably something like 2-0, 3-0. Yeah. You just think that they've just got to. You know, they had the last 2 games. They've just their chances put away. I think they'll rectify that at the weekend and they'll win at Bournemouth.
Yeah. Steve, Liverpool obviously got dismantled at home against Real Madrid, but this Crystal Palace team, they've drawn the last 3 at home. I know one was Man United and Newcastle was the other one. I think it was Brighton.
Have a go.
You know, Patrick Vieira, we all know everyone's love for him. I just can't see them beating Liverpool. I know Liverpool were woeful, but I expect Liverpool to rebound here. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought they played very well at Newcastle. They were up obviously before Pope got sent off, and they're comfortable. And I think that they'll bounce back. Anything other than a Liverpool win, and their season is starting to crumble. I think they still have a chance of getting 4th place, and I think they have to believe that. And I think that Van Dijk obviously had a shocker the other night, but I think now he's back in the league. I think that they'll tighten things up a bit. Palace, as you say, drawn at home. They're not an easy team to beat, and they got probably unlucky not to win at Brentford in the end. But I just think Liverpool should have too much about them. So I'm fancying a away win.
Yeah, it's time to shut up Liverpool. You know, if they don't turn up here, because if they don't get top 4, that's the end.
Put up, shut up.
Shut up, correct. Yeah. Now, one team has got to do that is Chelsea. Paul, I've got to ask you. Tottenham, good things in my opinion. I know it's your bogey team.
It's a complete bogey team. I've been to games thinking we're going to beat them. When do you think we last beat them?
I would say when Ericsson made 2 for Dele Alli.
2013 or something. Yeah. We can't beat them. It's a decade. You go and watch the game and they beat us. I was there when Song got sent off for retaliation. That's the game I was at. One team we don't beat is Chelsea. Now, any team Chelsea play now, they could turn. Yeah. They've got the quality. They'll turn against us. I think, at home we're a good team, and we'll give it a good account of ourselves. If ever we've got a chance of beating them now, but Budge, it's
won't have your money.
Not a rand.
Steve,
Well, look, I mean, you say that we hadn't beaten Chelsea in 17 years till we beat them a few weeks ago.
Oh,
you don't know the thing is, you don't know what you're going to get from Chelsea. You don't know what team he's going to pick. He averages something like 5 or 6 changes every game, Potter. He's got players coming back from injury. Some team very soon is going to get absolutely spanked by them. But until that happens, they are a team of individuals. They're not a team. So, I think Tottenham have got to keep it tight in the first half and get that ball forward to Harry Kane, and they can win. Because, as I say, Chelsea were shocking really against Southampton. They had 1 or 2 chances, but you think if they can't beat Southampton, they shouldn't be going to White Hart Lane or anything. But and this is, they're starting to run out of time as well, Chelsea, to get near a top 4 place. They're even further away than Liverpool. So I think it's, for me, I think Tottenham can win it, but I think that's going to be more about how Chelsea play rather than Tottenham.
Yeah. Me, Tottenham, good things.
Thank you, Budge. Can I get you something?
Can you? Yeah. I just can't have Chelsea. It's the old saying. It's my mate Solwynald says, rather back a winner till he loses than a loser until he wins. And Chelsea are woeful. Couldn't beat Southampton, and the chances they had, and they're blaming the manager, where Sterling could have had 3 or 4, this guy could have had. I'm all over Spurs, especially at home.
Who's going to win the League Cup
League
final?
Cup final,
Come on,
Steve.
Budge. Spill it out there, it's your team.
Well, look, if you look at the form guide, you'd say give the ball to Rashford and he's going to score and they're going to win. They've obviously got a tough game tonight. I think that Ten Hag really could have done without this game, but because he has to play his big names. Yeah. So it's a slight advantage for Newcastle. But if United win tonight, they're going to be cock a hoop. Yeah. So for me, I think United are favourites. Newcastle just got off the boil. They didn't play well against Newcastle. They haven't played well really in half a dozen games. Yeah. So but it's as I say, it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere. You've got the best part of 40,000 fans from each club. Yeah. Newcastle are desperate for a domestic trophy. None of us were born when they last won in '55. So it's but I still think United will be too strong.
Didn't they win the Fairs Cup in the early '60s, Steve?
Yeah, no, they won it in 68, 69.
Okay.
But a domestic trophy.
Domestic,
domestic trophy, they haven't won since '55. Yeah. So it's a long time for a big club. So, but I just think that if United turn up and play they did, say in the second half against Leicester, and have a go at them. But I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's a close game. It's what you want from a cup final. They were the two right teams to go through. Yeah. So I think people look forward to it.
Yeah, I can't believe United are 12-10. That can only be because they play Barcelona on Thursday. Yeah. When you look at the team, Newcastle have been woeful. They were woeful against Liverpool before got sent off. I know they try. Alan St. Maxim, he's the trick man. If United can contain him, I think United will win comfortably. But obviously tonight's game against Barcelona is crucial.
I'm all over United.
On to the championship for the weekend, and it kicks off a funny game, lunchtime kickoff. Coventry-Sunderland. I couldn't believe Sunderland got beat at Rotherham on Tuesday night, Steve. Yeah. I think there's goals in this game, but which way do you see it going?
Yeah, I mean, that was the shot. I mean, Sunderland were one of the informed teams, and Rotherham, just keep surprising us really. Just when you think that they lose a few and they come back with a huge win. Look, Coventry, I think, will probably start as favourites. They won the other night. Sunderland have just got to sort of pick themselves up after that Rotherham game because obviously they're closer of the two to the playoffs. So I can see Coventry at least holding them. I think it'll be an entertaining game, and I think there'll be goals.
Yeah, I totally agree. One team I can't get my head around is Birmingham City. I go against them, they win. I go for them, they get beat. Luton Town, Steve, I saw the highlights against Burnley. They were in that game for a long time and obviously conceded a penalty. They're 6th in the league. I couldn't believe it until I saw it. I don't see them losing here, Steve, but can they win it?
They can, but I think it's more likely to be a draw. As you say, Birmingham were very consistent. They perked up a little bit, and then they went and had a home defeat to Cardiff when everyone expected that to be a banker. I think that they can hold them. But Luton have got They're a little bit of belief at times. I think maybe when they turn up against teams like Burnley, they think, oh, we're not going to win it. But they're a hard team to beat, and I wouldn't be surprised if they hold them.
Yeah, unbeaten and 5 away from home Luton. So I don't see them losing. I think there'll be goals though. Bristol City, Hull City, Steve. Bristol City going well, unbeaten and 8. Preston drew at Hull last week.
And scoring goals. And I fancy them to this. I think the odds are quite generous, and I think at home they should be too strong.
Okay, Burnley 4-10 against Huddersfield Town. I see Neil Warnock is back coaching.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it. First up, I think Burnley too good, surely.
Yeah, first up, well, they should be. I mean, look, they're cruising in the league. They're so far clear of third place. But, they don't want to start slipping up. And I think Vincent Kompany has got them focused. And, they don't know how to lose. But I think that despite the Warnock effect, Burnley should be too strong.
Yeah, I think this is a 2-3-0 game. -1 is 12-10, so that's what we're on. Next game, Norwich City against Cardiff. Cardiff won their last 2, but I fancy Norwich City all day here. I think 7-10 is a good thing. How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, Norwich have just started to find a little bit more form, scoring goals again, and I think that they should. I think it'd be obviously has just sort of turned the corner at Cardiff, but I think Norwich should be too strong.
All right. Despite our woeful home form, I think my Preston boys will beat Wigan. Steve, how do you see it going?
Well, I mean, Wigan are near, the bottom for a reason, but they picked up a little bit, obviously, with Sean Maloney. But I think you're right. I think Preston. I mean, their form in the last sort of 6-8 games has been pretty poor. But I think really, if they don't win this Preston, then there's nothing for them this season. So, I think I'll go for Preston, but it's going to be a tight game, low scoring.
Yeah, I think Preston. Troy Parrott's back. Fans are happy with him. He's played well the last couple of games. So my boys 12-10. Get stuck in. QPR haven't won. I think they've won 1 in 16. Haven't won for ages. Haven't won in 10. Yeah. I know that, against a Blackburn team. Slowly consolidating that playoff spot, Steve. I think there's goals. I just can't trust QPR. I can't believe they're 13-10. How do you see it?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure whether those odds were set. Obviously, they just appointed Gareth Ainsworth from Wickham. So I think he'll get them. I think he'll get them playing a little bit more attractive football. But look, it's actually 1 win in 17 and haven't won at home since October. And Blackburn unbeaten in 6 and sitting in 4th place. I think he'll get something out of them, QPR. But I got a fancy Blackburn going to win this. For me, I think the betting is almost the wrong way around.
Yeah, 2 bad sides next up, Steve. Reading and Blackpool. Reading are hard to beat at home.
Drifting down.
Can't have Blackpool, even though what's their managers? Is it Mick McCarthy's there? One of they've got a new manager. McCarthy. Yeah, they've come right of late, but I think 11-10 Reading. Steve, how do you see it?
Yeah, I think at home. I mean, they score goals, and I think that Blackpool won the other day, but the team had a player sent on. I think Reading should be too strong, and I think that they'll win that.
All right, 2 teams in playoff contention: Sheffield United, Watford. I was flicking over to watch they won 3-2, but some of the goals that they scored, Watford, were crazy. This will be a good game, Steve. Of the 2 teams, I like Sheffield United, even though Watford haven't got a bad record away from home. Which way do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, Sheffield United have lost a couple recently. They were beaten by Middlesbrough. It's a big performance. I watched the Watford-West Brom game. The first half, they were good value. Second half, West Brom were by far the better team. Yeah. But sort of Watford got a couple of, the third goal was the soft goal. But, but I think personally, Sheffield United will bounce back. I think they could be goals, but I think Sheffield United will bounce back and just about win it.
Yeah, go next game, Stoke City, Millwall. I think there's goals in that. Millwall, I watched them beat Sheffield United. They have a go, that team, and I think they got beat by Burnley in midweek. And they drew with Burnley in midweek, I think it was.
They drew with Burnley, yeah.
So they're playing well.
I think look, Stoke have picked up a bit. They've had a couple of good wins, and they're still in the cup. I think. But Millwall are making themselves hard to beat, and they've scored. I say that was a big result to get a point against Burnley and beating Sheffield United as well. I think Millwall could get something up there. I'm not sure they'll win, but I think they could hold them.
All right. Big game for me in this the championship this week is West Brom Middlesbrough. Two teams that will, in my opinion, will be in the playoffs. I can't believe Middlesbrough 19-10, Steve, in their form. I know West Brom and the Hawthorns have got a great record, but having watched the two teams, I fancy Middlesbrough. How do you see it? Yeah,
I mean, they are really playing well. I mean, they're top of the form guide at the moment, just ahead of Burnley. And it shows Burnley have been winning almost every week. It shows how well Chuba Akpom, who's the leading scorer, when he scores, they win. And that was a huge win at Sheffield United last week. Yeah. I think that of the two, I think they will start as favourites for me, Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I can't believe 19-10. I think it's a great price. And last but not least, Monday night, Steve, Swansea City, who I fancied in midweek, they got beat 3-1 at home by Stoke against a Rotherham team who beat Sunderland 2-1 at home. Can't believe Swansea are 6-10 though.
Well, Swansea, I think I've almost stopped backing them now because you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, they dominate games with possession, and they end up losing games that on paper you think they should win. I think they probably will bounce back and win this, but because you just don't know what you're going to get with either them or Rotherham. But I think of the two, I still fancy Swansea, but I think it'll be a bit closer than the betting odds show.
All right, Steve, pressure time again. Your best bet and value bet.
So I'm going to go for Bristol City as my best bet. I think at home, I think those are decent odds. They're playing well. And my value bet, I'm going to go for Blackburn Rovers. I think that they're going to look at this game and think, look, they haven't won at home since October. We're sitting fourth in the table, and I think they'll go there and Ben Brereton will score. All
right, Steve, I'm all over Man United this Sunday in the League Cup, 12-10. It is a 90 minutes bet. I think we'll win comfortably. And Middlesbrough at 19-10. I can't believe that price. And I'd rather back them till they get beat. I like what I see, and it should be a good game. But I'm all over Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Steve.
All the best, Stevie.
Thanks again, and we'll speak to you shortly. All the best, Steve. Thanks, you.
Steve. Thanks very much.
Take care.
Right, Buds, let's go PSL fixtures. We start at the top. Super Sport against Maritzburg.
Yeah, Paul, Maritzburg had a good run, but they got beat the other day. I was surprised. Super Sport, you just never know. Watch them play Royal AM, Paul. They shouldn't have allowed the game to be played. It was monsoon, and it was just a waterlogged pitch. They played at Chatsworth. It ended up 1-1. They haven't won in 6 Super Sport, but I think they'll
log.
Yeah, but Sundowns are well clear. I think they'll beat Maritzburg.
What about the big derby?
Well, I like Pirates of the two teams. I've watched Chiefs. I couldn't believe they got beat by Golden Arrows 3-2. It took them to Polokwane. They can't defend.
Yes.
I like Pirates, Paul. They've been scoring goals of late. Of the two, I think 19-10 is a good price, Paul.
All right, Richards Bay.
Yeah, Steve
Where
Barker's,
are they playing their games now?
They're playing at Mlazi.
Mlazi, and they're holding.
They play Stellenbosch. Steve Barker's done a good job. They've come right of late, Steve. But you don't beat Richards Bay at Mlazi. Win and draw Richards Bay for me.
Okay. Sekhukhune?
Sekhukhune, Paul, going great. They've won 4 and drawn 1 of the last 5 home games. They play at Polokwane. I don't see them losing to Cape Town City. Terrible away record, 1 point from 5. Sekhukhune in the draw for me. Paul Amazulu, I don't know. I fancied them last week against TS Galaxy. They got beat 2-1, Moses Mabida. Royal AM, another funny team, Paul. 18-10, the draw looks the right way to go. I think it'll be a tight game. And I like Chipper, Paul. They're hard to beat in PE. 4 wins and a draw at home. Swallows are in troubles. I think they're only 2 points off the the bottom place. Chipper United for me, 14-10.
All right, Budge, let's look at your bets now.
Yeah, well, we've got the exotics first, Paul, before we crack on to the bets. And we start with our score 6, our KZN bet. I'm going 3 fields, 3 bankers. I'm going the field in the Everton-Aston Villa game, as well as the Leeds United-Southampton fixture. I'm banking Arsenal to be too good away from home at Leicester City. Looking for the upset in the West Ham United-Notts Forest clash and ending up with 2 bankers. Man City to win at Bournemouth, and I fancy Liverpool to win at Crystal Palace. On to our score, the Phumelela Soccer 6. I'm going Sunderland. A win and draw at Coventry. I'm chancing Orlando Pirates to be too good for Kaizer Chiefs. Going win and draw, Richards Bay against Stellenbosch. Sekakuna as well, win and draw at home against Cape Town City. I'm siding with Royal AM to avoid defeat against AmaZulu. In the CAF Champions League, I hope that's on. Al Ahly, the Egyptian champions, against Sundowns, a group clash. I don't see Sundowns winning, Paul, but they may get a draw. 192, yeah, good team, Al Ahly, yeah. On to the score 10, I'm going Aston Villa, win and draw against Everton. Going the field in the Leeds Southampton game. I think Arsenal will be too good for Leicester City. Going the field in the West Ham United versus Notts Forest fixture. I'm going Sheffield United, win and draw at home against Watford. On to the second page, I'm going Middlesbrough, win and draw at West Brom. Banking Real Madrid to beat Atletico Madrid. Man City to beat Bournemouth. Liverpool to win at Crystal Palace, and Real Sociedad to avoid defeat at Valencia, 288. On to the soccer 13, I'm banking Liverpool to beat Crystal Palace. I'm going Man City to be too good at Bournemouth. Siding with another away team, Arsenal to win at Leicester. Going Leeds United, win and draw at home against Southampton. Aston Villa, win and draw at Everton. Going West Ham United, win and draw at home against Notts Forest. And siding with Luton Town to avoid defeat at Birmingham City. On to the second page, I'm going Bristol City, win and draw at home against Hull City. Banking Norwich City to beat Cardiff City. Blackburn Rovers, win and draw at Queen's Park Rangers. Sheffield United, I'm chancing them to beat Watford. Going Millwall, win and draw at Stoke City. And I'm going Middlesbrough to be too good for West Brom, 256. On to our budgies bets for the weekend. I'm going an English treble. I'm going Arsenal to beat Leicester and both teams to score yes. I'm going Tottenham against your thoughts to be too good for Chelsea, and Man United to win, to beat Newcastle, but it is a 90-minute game. If it goes to extra time, that's a draw. So they've got to win in 90 minutes. 3,400 to 200. The team goals I didn't fancy this week, so I'm going a bookings. There's 5 games. I think there'll be over 3.5 bookings, so minimum of 4. If there's a red card, that counts as 2 yellows. I think Fulham Wolves, Everton Aston Villa, Leeds, Southampton, Leicester, Arsenal, and Tottenham, Chelsea will all have over 3.5 bookings. A great price, 17 to 1, 3,400 to 200. On to the championship, where we're going for a nice treble. I'm going Burnley to beat Huddersfield by more than 1 goal. I'm going Middlesbrough to beat West Brom, and I fancy Preston North End to beat Wigan at home, 2,600 to 200. Championship, both teams to score. Sides are Coventry City, Sunderland, Birmingham City, Luton Town, QPR Blackburn, and Stoke Millwall, 2,600 to 200. On to Spain, where we're going for a quartet. I'm going Real Madrid to beat Atletico Madrid, Seville to beat Osasuna, and both teams to score in the Cadiz Rayo Vallecano Villarreal Getafe game, 3,000 to 200. And Collis King, 6 Anixa. I'm going Arsenal to beat Leicester, Man City to beat Bournemouth, Man United to beat Newcastle, Burnley to beat Huddersfield, Norwich to beat Cardiff, and Real Madrid to beat Atletico Madrid. 20 to 1, Paul, 4,000 to 200.
Very good, Budge. I like some of those bets. They're tough, but it's always hard.
Always tricky, Paul.
So that's it for this week. Until next time, stay on side.